My son, feel welcomed in my arms, for I have something profound and valuable to tell you. Listen carefully, for this message is for you, written since the beginning of time when I dreamt of your existence. Every detail of who you are, every breath and heartbeat was planned with love and purpose by me. You are not here by chance. There is a greater reason for your life. I remember the moment I formed you in your mother's womb. With tenderness, I designed every part of your being, your eyes, which now read these words, and your mind, capable of perceiving mysteries that few understand. You are unique, my son. There is no one like you in the entire universe. Your gifts and talents are a gift from me, destined to transform lives and leave an eternal legacy. Today, I call you to awaken. Walk with me to the end of this message, for along the way, you will find answers to questions you may not even know you had. And at the end, an extraordinary revelation awaits you, something wonderful that may be the key to your transformation. Trust me, for I am with you every step of this journey. If this message touches your heart, leave a comment saying, "God, I accept your promised healing," and believe that you are not alone. Follow to the end, for something profound and powerful awaits you, something that can change your life in a way you never imagined. Hear my voice, calling from the depths of your being. Feel the burning in your heart. That is the fire of my spirit igniting in you a passion for my kingdom. Do not ignore this call. Do not quench this flame. Rise, my son. It is time to embrace your divine destiny. Leave behind the comfort of the known and venture into the exciting unknown of my will. There is a world waiting to be impacted through you. Remember, you do not walk this journey alone. My hand is extended to guide you. My angels are around you to protect you, and my spirit dwells in you to strengthen and empower you. Trust me with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge me in all your ways, and I will direct your paths. My wisdom is available to you. Just ask in faith. My son, you were created for such a time as this. There are no coincidences in my kingdom. Every experience, every relationship, every challenge you have faced so far has been part of my preparation. Now is the time to take the next step. May my peace, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and mind. May my joy be your strength, and may my love, which is greater than you can comprehend, completely envelop you. Go forward boldly, knowing that the Creator of the universe is by your side. Nothing is impossible for those who believe. The future is bright, my son. Embrace it with faith and expectation. I am with you. I always have been and always will be. Now, rise and walk in the fullness of your divine calling. My beloved son, the time has come to open your spiritual eyes. For too long you have walked as if in a deep sleep, unaware of the heavenly realities surrounding you. But now, I call you to awaken. See, the veil between the natural and the supernatural is becoming thinner. Those with eyes to see are witnessing signs and wonders. The invisible is becoming visible to hearts tuned to my divine frequency. You were not created merely to exist in the physical realm. There is a vibrant and pulsating spiritual dimension around you. In this realm, angels and demons wage cosmic battles. In this realm, your prayers have the power to move mountains and alter the course of history. My son, it is time to awaken to this greater reality. Leave behind the worldly mindset that has kept you bound to earthly concerns. Elevate your thoughts. Expand your vision. There is more, much more than your natural eyes can see. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Your true identity transcends flesh and blood. Within you lies a spark of my own divine nature, an eternal spirit destined for heavenly greatness. Open your heart to the mysteries of my kingdom. Allow me to guide you into deeper waters of revelation and spiritual understanding. There are ancient secrets waiting to be discovered, eternal truths longing to be embraced. My son, you have been chosen for a generation that will see the supernatural manifest in extraordinary ways. The last days are upon us, and I am pouring out my spirit on all flesh. Young and old will have visions and prophetic dreams. Signs in the heavens and on the earth will announce the nearness of my return. Do not be content with a superficial faith. Dive into the depths of my love and power. Seek me with all your heart, and I will reveal myself to you in ways that surpass your imagination. There are dimensions of intimacy with me that you have yet to explore. Hear the sound of my spirit whispering to your spiritual ears. Feel the gentle touch of my presence enveloping your soul. Breathe deeply the heavenly atmosphere that is settling around you. This is your moment of awakening. Rise from the spiritual lethargy that has kept you asleep. Shake off the dust of apathy and unbelief. It is time to move in a new level of faith and boldness. The time is short, and there is much work to be done in my kingdom. My son, I call you to be a spokesperson of heavenly truth in these last days. Through you, I want to manifest my glory in powerful ways. Healings, deliverances, miracles. All this will flow when you surrender completely to my spirit. Do not fear the unknown. Do not shrink back from the supernatural. I am with you, guiding every step. Trust me, even when you do not understand everything that is happening. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Awaken, my son. The day is dawning, and a new spiritual era is being born. You were chosen for such a time as this. Embrace your divine destiny with courage and determination. The best is yet to come. My precious son, listen carefully, for I am about to reveal to you the secrets of an extraordinary journey, the journey of your spiritual transformation. This is not a path for the faint of heart, but for those who long to experience the transforming power of my love. From the moment you were born, I have gently led you on a path of growth and change. Every experience, every challenge, every victory, and every defeat has been carefully orchestrated to mold you into the image of my son. You see, you are like a rough diamond in my hands, beautiful and precious, but not yet refined. The process of polishing can be painful at times, but it is necessary to reveal the dazzling brilliance I have placed within you. Do not fear the pressures and challenges you face. They are like the heat and pressure that transform coal into diamonds. Through them, I am forging in you a character that will withstand the test of time and eternity. Remember, transformation does not happen overnight. It is a gradual process, often imperceptible to human eyes. But I see every little change, every step in the right direction. I rejoice with every victory, no matter how small it may seem. There are times when you may feel stagnant, as if nothing is changing. But do not be deceived. In the depths of your being, where human eyes cannot see, I am performing a mighty work. I am renewing your mind, purifying your heart, and aligning your will with mine. My son, understand that true transformation begins within. Do not worry so much about external appearances. Focus on cultivating a pure heart and a renewed mind. As you surrender to my spirit, the inner change will naturally manifest in your outward behavior. Do not compare yourself to others on their journey. Each of my children has a unique path of transformation. The pace and intensity of change vary from person to person. Trust in my perfect timing for your life. There are moments when the process of transformation may seem painful. Old habits need to be broken. Deep wounds need to be exposed to be healed. But do not fear the pain of growth. It is through these challenging moments that you become stronger and more like me. My son, know that you are not alone on this journey. My spirit is within you, guiding and empowering every step of the way. When you feel weak, my strength will sustain you. When you stumble, my grace will lift you up. Keep your eyes fixed on me throughout the process. Do not be distracted by the storms around you. Focus on my voice, my presence. It is in intimacy with me that the deepest changes occur. Remember, you are my masterpiece in progress. Every brushstroke of my love, every touch of my spirit is creating something beautiful and eternal. Trust the process, even when you do not understand. The final result will be glorious beyond your imagination. Embrace this journey of transformation with all your heart. Surrender completely to my work in your life. Let me mold you, refine you, transform you. The best is yet to come. My beloved son, listen carefully, for I am about to share with you a sacred calling, the call to holiness. This is not an ordinary invitation, but a divine call to rise above spiritual mediocrity and enter into a life of extraordinary consecration. From the beginning of time, I have called my people to be holy, just as I am holy. This call echoes through the ages, spanning generations, and now resonates in your ears. You, my son, have been chosen to carry the banner of holiness in this generation. Understand, holiness is not an option for my followers. It is a command, an absolute necessity for those who desire to walk in intimacy with me. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. This is an unchanging truth that stands firm through the ages. Do not be deceived into thinking that holiness is only for a few special chosen ones. Every one of my children is called to a life of purity and consecration. You are no exception. The blood of my Son was shed to make your sanctification possible. Holiness is not a distant, unattainable goal. It is a lifestyle, an attitude of the heart, a daily surrender to my will. It begins with small choices, deciding to love when it is easier to hate, choosing to forgive when revenge seems sweeter, opting for truth when a lie offers an easier path. Do not fear the call to holiness, my son. Many shrink back from it, fearing that a holy life will be dull and restrictive. But let me assure you, there is no life more exciting, more fulfilling, more full of purpose than a life lived in holiness. Holiness will not isolate you from the world. On the contrary, it will empower you to be light in the darkness, salt on the earth. Through your holy life, others will be drawn to me. Your silent example will speak louder than 1,000 sermons. My son, understand that holiness is not achieved by your own efforts. It is the result of a complete surrender to my Holy Spirit. Allow Him to guide you, mold you, transform you. Surrender to His purifying touch, even when it is uncomfortable. There will be times when the call to holiness will seem too difficult. The world around you will mock your high standards. Your own flesh will fight against this call. But do not give up. The reward of holiness infinitely surpasses any temporary pleasure that sin may offer. Remember, my son, you are not alone on this journey of holiness. My Spirit is in you, providing all the strength and grace you need. Moreover, you are part of a community of believers. Lean on them, encourage them, and be encouraged by them. My dear son, my dear daughter, now I want to talk to you about something that has the power to move mountains and transform the impossible into possible. Faith. This is not an ordinary faith, but a living, dynamic, and powerful faith that can change the course of your life and impact the world around you. From the beginning, I have sought men and women who would walk by faith and not by sight. Abraham, the father of faith, left everything he knew to follow my voice to an unknown land. Moses faced Pharaoh and parted the Red Sea by faith. David faced Goliath with nothing but a sling and 5 stones, trusting that I would be with him. Now, my son, it is your turn to join this lineage of faith giants. The world you live in desperately needs people who dare to believe in the impossible, who refuse to accept the limitations of the natural, and who live with a constant expectation of miracles. Faith, my son, is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It is through faith that you come into contact with the supernatural and bring heaven to earth. It is by faith that you move my hand and release my power into seemingly impossible situations. Do not underestimate the power of your faith, no matter how small it may seem. Remember the words of my son. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Faith is not a fleeting emotion or occasional positive thinking. It is a deep conviction, an unshakable certainty in my promises, regardless of circumstances. It is continuing to believe even when everything around you seems to contradict what you are believing for. My son, feed your faith daily. Just as your body needs food to grow and strengthen, your faith needs to be regularly nourished. Feed it with my word. Meditate on my promises. Remind yourself of the times I have been faithful in the past. The more you feed your faith, the stronger it will become. Do not be afraid to exercise your faith. Faith, like a muscle, grows when it is used. Take steps of faith, even when it seems scary. Trust me for things that seem beyond your capabilities. The more you exercise your faith, the more it will expand. There will be times when your faith will be tested. Do not be surprised when this happens. Tests and trials are part of the refining process of your faith. Just as gold is purified by fire, your faith becomes purer and more precious through challenges. Remember, my son, faith is not based on what you see, but on what I say. Do not let circumstances dictate the level of your faith. Keep your eyes fixed on me, the author and finisher of your faith. When the storms of life threaten to shake your confidence, anchor yourself in my unchanging promises. Faith is the key that opens the doors of the impossible. It is the channel through which my power flows. It is the force that sustains you in the most difficult moments and propels you to new spiritual heights. Never underestimate the power of a life lived by faith. My son, I call you to be a man of extraordinary faith in this generation. Do not settle for mediocre or lukewarm faith. Seek a burning, bold faith that challenges the status quo and expects great things from me. The world is waiting to see my power manifested through those who truly believe. Remember, faith is not a leap in the dark, but a firm step based on my word and my character. Know me intimately, and your faith will naturally grow. The more you experience my faithfulness, the easier it will be to trust me for the unknown. My son, let your faith be contagious. May others see in you an unshakable confidence in the God of the impossible. May your life be a living testimony of the power of faith. Through your faith, many will be inspired to believe and experience my transforming power. Go forward boldly, knowing that the God you believe in is able to do infinitely more than all you ask or imagine. May your faith move mountains, open seas, and make the impossible a reality. The best is yet to come for those who believe. My beloved son, now I want to reveal to you one of the most powerful secrets of the universe, the power of prayer. This is not a simple recitation of words, but an intimate communion with me, the Creator of all things. It is through prayer that you touch heaven and move the heart of the Father. From the beginning of time, I have longed to communicate with my children. Prayer is the divine channel I established for this communion. It is the spiritual umbilical cord that connects you to my heart, allowing my life to flow to you and your requests to reach my ears. My son, understand that prayer is not a monologue, but a dialogue. It is not just you speaking to me, but also me speaking to you. Learn to hear my voice in the silence of your soul. It is in the quiet moments of communion that the deepest secrets are revealed. Prayer has the power to change not only circumstances, but also hearts. When you pray, you align yourself with my will. Your desires begin to reflect my desires. Your perspective changes. You begin to see situations through my eyes. Do not underestimate the power of a consistent prayer life. Many of my children pray only in times of crisis, but I call you to a life of constant communion. Pray without ceasing, as Paul taught. Make prayer your lifestyle, not just an occasional activity. Remember, my son, prayer is not to inform me of your needs. I already know everything about you before you even ask. Prayer is to align your heart with mine, to strengthen your faith, and to allow you to actively participate in my plan for your life and the world. Prayer is a powerful weapon in the spiritual realm. Through it, you have the authority to bind and loose, to declare my will on earth as it is in heaven. Use this weapon wisely and reverently, always seeking my guidance on how to pray. My son, do not be discouraged if your prayers seem unanswered immediately. Sometimes, no or wait are as important answers as yes. Trust in my perfect timing and infinite wisdom. I see the bigger picture that you cannot see. Intercessory prayer is a special calling. When you pray for others, you become a channel of my love and power for their lives. Do not underestimate the impact of your prayers for others. They can change destinies and alter the course of history. Learn to pray with faith and expectation. Believe that I am listening and that I will answer. Prayer without faith is like an envelope without an address. It goes nowhere. But prayer filled with faith moves mountains and works miracles. My son, seek my face in prayer, not just my hand. Many come to me only for what I can do for them, but I long for a deeper relationship. Seek me for who I am, not just for what I can give you. Prayer is your resource in times of need, your fortress in times of weakness, your light in times of darkness. No matter what you are facing, prayer is always the answer. Bring everything to me in prayer. Your joys, your sorrows, your fears, your dreams. Remember, prayer is not a religious obligation, but an incredible privilege. You have direct access to the throne of grace. Use this privilege frequently and gratefully. The more you pray, the more you will experience my presence and power in your life. My son, I call you to be a prayer warrior in this generation. The world desperately needs intercessors who stand in the gap. Through your prayers, nations can be transformed, revivals can be sparked, lives can be saved. Go forward with confidence, knowing that your prayers are heard and valued in heaven. May your prayer life be a powerful testimony of my love and power. The best is yet to come for those who persevere in prayer. My precious son, now I want to talk to you about one of the most challenging and transformative aspects of spiritual life: forgiveness. This is not a simple or easy concept, but it is essential for your journey of growth and for experiencing the fullness of my love. From the beginning, forgiveness has been central to my plan for humanity. When Adam and Eve sinned, I already had a plan of redemption in mind. Forgiveness is not just something I offer, but something I require from my children. It is a reflection of my nature and a sign of your transformation into my image. My son, understand that forgiveness is not an emotion, but a decision. It is an act of will that often goes against your natural feelings. Forgiving does not mean that what was done to you is right, nor that you should allow it to continue happening. It means that you choose to release the offender from the emotional debt they owe you. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It has the power to break cycles of hatred and vengeance that persist for generations. It has the power to heal deep wounds and restore broken relationships. It has the power to free you from the chains of resentment and bitterness. Do not underestimate the impact of forgiveness in your own life. When you forgive, you are not just releasing the other person, but you are also setting yourself free. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is the antidote that brings healing to your own soul. Remember, my son, just as I have forgiven you, you must forgive others. There is no limit to forgiveness. When Peter asked if he should forgive up to 7 times, my son replied that he should forgive 70 times 7. Forgiveness must be a constant attitude, not an occasional action. Forgiveness does not mean that you should forget what happened. The memory remains, but forgiveness removes the sting of the offense. It does not mean that you should immediately trust the person who hurt you. Trust is rebuilt over time. Forgiveness is the first step in that process of restoration. My son, do not wait until you feel like forgiving. Forgiveness often begins as an act of obedience, not as a feeling. Decide to forgive, even when your feelings scream otherwise. Over time, your feelings will align with your decision. Forgiveness is a process. For deep offenses, you may need to forgive repeatedly, each time the memory of the offense resurfaces. Do not be discouraged if you find that you have forgiven, but then struggle again with feelings of resentment. Continue to forgive until peace prevails. Learn to forgive not only others but also yourself. Many of my children carry a heavy burden of self-condemnation and guilt. Remember, my son, if I have forgiven you, who are you not to forgive yourself? Accept my forgiveness and extend that same grace to yourself. Forgiveness is not an option for my followers. It is a command. My son taught that if you do not forgive others, I will not forgive you. This does not mean that my love is conditional, but that an unforgiving heart blocks your ability to receive and experience my forgiveness. My son, forgiveness is a journey. Sometimes, forgiving can seem impossible, especially when the offense is deep. In those moments, ask me for strength. I will give you the grace needed to forgive even the most painful offenses. Forgiveness is one of the greatest testimonies of my love to the world. When you forgive those who have hurt you, especially when they do not deserve it, you are demonstrating my character. You are showing the world a glimpse of my unconditional love. Remember, forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength. It takes more courage to forgive than to seek revenge. Revenge is the natural response of the human heart, but forgiveness is supernatural. It is my nature operating through you. My son, I call you to be an agent of forgiveness in this broken world. Just as I reconciled you to myself through Christ, use the ministry of reconciliation I have given you. Be a bridge of forgiveness, helping others to experience the freedom that comes from forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the keys to emotional and spiritual healing. Many physical illnesses have roots in unforgiving hearts. When you forgive, you open the doors to holistic healing, spirit, soul, and body. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Resolve conflicts quickly. The longer you hold on to resentment, the harder it will be to forgive. Cultivate a heart that forgives quickly, reflecting my readiness to forgive you. My son, understand that forgiveness is an act of worship. When you choose to forgive despite the pain, you are honoring me. You are declaring that you trust me to deal with the injustice rather than taking justice into your own hands. Forgiveness opens the doors for your own growth and blessing. Often, the people who hurt you the most are instruments for your spiritual growth. Through the process of forgiveness, you develop patience, compassion, and a heart more like mine. Go forward, my son, embracing the path of forgiveness. May your life be marked by extraordinary grace, reflecting my forgiving heart to a world that desperately needs to experience the transformative power of forgiveness. Remember, through forgiveness, you not only release others, but also release the flow of my blessings in your own life. My brave son, now I want to open your eyes to a reality that many ignore: the spiritual battle happening around you. This is not a conflict of flesh and blood, but a war against principalities and powers in the heavenly realms. Since the fall of Lucifer, a cosmic battle has been waged for the soul of humanity. The enemy, like a roaring lion, prowls around seeking whom he may devour. But do not fear, for greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. My son, understand that you were born on a battlefield, not a playground. The Christian life is not a picnic, but a war. Each day brings new challenges, new temptations, new strategies of the enemy to divert you from your divine destiny. The spiritual battle is not something you can ignore or avoid. Ignorance is not bliss in this realm. The more aware you are of spiritual realities, the better equipped you will be to face the enemy's attacks. Do not underestimate the power of your adversary, but do not overestimate it either. Satan is a defeated enemy. On the cross, my son disarmed the powers and authorities, making a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them. You fight from a position of victory, not for victory. Remember, my son, your weapons of warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds. Prayer, the Word, praise, fasting. These are some of the powerful weapons I have placed at your disposal. Use them wisely and consistently. The armor of God is not a beautiful metaphor, but a vital necessity for surviving the spiritual battlefield. Daily wear the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith, the sandals of the gospel of peace, and the sword of the Spirit. My son, always be alert. The enemy is cunning and often disguises himself as an angel of light. Develop spiritual discernment to recognize his tactics. Not every opportunity is from God. Not every thought in your mind is yours. Learn to discern the source. The most intense battle often takes place in your mind. It is there that the enemy plants seeds of doubt, fear, discouragement, and temptation. Guard your heart and mind. Take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Feed your mind with my word so that you can recognize and reject the enemy's lies. Do not fight alone. You are part of an army. Unite with other believers. There is strength in unity. When 2 or 3 gather in my name, I am in their midst. The enemy trembles when believers unite in prayer and intercession. My son, understand that some battles are won on your knees. Prayer is your direct line of communication with the heavenly headquarters. Keep that line open constantly. Pray at all times in the Spirit, with all prayer and supplication. Worship is a powerful weapon in spiritual warfare. When you praise, you create an atmosphere where my presence manifests and the enemy cannot remain. Praise breaks yokes, tears down walls, and prepares the way for miracles. Remember, the victory has already been won on the cross. You are not fighting for victory, but from victory. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. When the enemy comes in like a flood, my Spirit will lift up a standard against him. My son, I call you to be a spiritual warrior in this generation. The world needs men and women who understand spiritual realities and know how to fight effectively. Through your faithful battle, many will be set free, and my kingdom will advance. Go forward with courage, knowing that I am with you. No weapon forged against you will prevail. You are more than a conqueror through him who loved you. The battle may be intense, but the final victory is certain. My dedicated son, now I want to talk to you about a fundamental aspect of the Christian life, the call to service. This is not a call for a few chosen ones, but for all who follow me. Each of my children is called to serve, each with their unique gifts and talents. From the beginning, I created humanity not only for fellowship with me, but to be my representatives on earth. Adam and Eve were called to tend the garden, to be stewards of creation. This call to service still echoes today, though in different forms. My son, understand that serving is not an option, but a natural expression of your new nature in Christ. Just as my son did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many, you are also called to a life of selfless service. Christian service is not motivated by obligation or guilt, but by love. It is a natural response to the love you have received from me. When you truly understand the depth of my love for you, serving others becomes a joy, not a burden. Do not underestimate the power of humble service. Often, it is the simplest acts of kindness and service that have the greatest impact. A cup of cold water given in my name, a word of encouragement, an act of compassion. These can change lives and open hearts to my love. Remember, my son, true service is done without seeking recognition or reward. When you serve in secret, without fanfare, I see and reward you. Do not seek the applause of men, but the approval of your heavenly Father. Christian service is not limited to the 4 walls of the church. Every aspect of your life is an opportunity to serve. Your workplace, your neighborhood, your family, all are fields of ministry. See every interaction as an opportunity to demonstrate my love through service. My son, I call you to be a builder of my eternal kingdom in this generation. Through your faithful life, you are contributing to a work that will last forever. Every soul you influence for me is a brick in the construction of the New Jerusalem. Go forward with hope and expectation, knowing that the best is yet to come. The glory that will be revealed in you infinitely surpasses any suffering or sacrifice you may face here. Keep your eyes fixed on the eternal prize that awaits you. And so, my beloved son, as you continue your journey on this earth, always remember that each step brings you closer to your eternal destiny with me. Live each day in the light of eternity, knowing that soon we will be together forever, where the love, joy, and peace you partially experience now will be complete and eternal. Now, my beloved, for this message to reach more hearts and transform more lives, I ask that you subscribe to this channel. Your subscription is not just a click, but a seed planted in the kingdom of God. Leave a like on this video as an act of worship and gratitude for the word you received today. Share this message with someone who needs to hear God's voice at this moment. May your actions be an instrument in the hands of the Lord to touch other lives. In the comments, leave a Bible verse or a phrase that touched your heart. If you believe that God is working in your family right now, share that too. Your testimonies can be the light that someone needs to see. Remember, there are 2 more powerful messages waiting for you. They have the potential to bring peace and harmony to your lives in an extraordinary way. Continue listening to the messages in the 2 videos above. God has more to speak to your heart. May the grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you. Until the next video, remain firm in faith and in the love of God.